someone.
Go ahead and touch it. Don't be scared. Here. It's right under my finger now.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
That is not, can you touch it?
I'll come touch you, but I want to finish this point because I feel like that's also
the normal tissue.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
No. I mean, there's the CT scan, there's a video of the surgeon trying to remove it, and the thing fucking moving at its own, like it's
it's going
evaded
down
the
into my
surgeon,
earlobe. Yeah.
and it just like goes down. And I remember watching that.
I guess it went under. But that's the hard part. But it disappeared again.
Exactly. It's actually moving now.
It went under.
It's on the run.
Well, kind of is, because I could see it just bright as day, and now it's, I don't see it.
Have you ever read the sci-fi novel Childhood's End by
I
Arthur C.
certainly
Clarke?
have.
So in that book, as you know, there are the overlords, these sort of cosmic hosts, if you will, that are attempting to make contact with mankind.
Right.
They do it through this cadre of telepathic children.
Yes.
And these telepathic children are sort of the Paul Reveres, if you will, of humanity that are starting, this communications channel to this higher kind of Borg-like being. What do you think of that? Do you think that's a case of fiction becoming reality? Or
he was obviously a very extraordinary man.
he was Arthur C. Clarke was fascinating.
Fascinating man.
He's probably MI6.
Oh, probably, yeah.
He lived in Sri Lanka. He wrote a book about a portal in Sri Lanka on the top of a mountain, and now you have to speculate that he actually thought that there was one or something.
Well, of course he did. I'm sure he did.
Yeah.
I had the strangest experience with him. I had a friend, Mike Smith, when I was living in London. He was also an American. And he was a very good artist. And in those days, the English were easily fooled by fake credentials. So he made some fake credentials for a paper called the Chicago Citizen, which didn't even exist. And we used to use these credentials to get into places we didn't belong, like Ask at Opening Day and the premiere of which one is 2001?
Space Odyssey, yeah.
Yeah. Arthur C. Clarke's, the movie, okay.
Yeah, Arthur C. Clarke, Stanley Kubrick, based on actually a novel by Arthur C. Clarke called The Sentinel.
Right. So Arthur C. Clarke is there. I end up sitting beside Arthur C. Clarke in the movie.
No way.
I'm telling you the truth.
That's crazy.
And so, I'm very quiet, of course, because I don't want to get thrown out. And I don't think it'd be too long before another American's going to realize that I'm there based on complete bullshit. And so I'm sitting there.
Or you were meant to be there.
Maybe. And I asked afterwards, he turns to me and he introduces himself as if he didn't know who he was. And I tell him my name, and he said, "Well, why are you here?" And I said, "Well, I'm from the Chicago Citizen." The Chicago Citizen, he says. I said, "Yeah, it's a new paper." Oh, he says, "Well, what do you think? Are you going to write a review?" He says, I said, "Yes, I'm going to write a review. And in the review, I'm going to say that you are a genius." And he says, "Well, you better say Stanley's a genius too."
Wow.
Awesome. So that was my contact with Arthur C. Clarke.
Both of those guys were truly geniuses.
They were great geniuses. And
yeah.
God, I have a feeling there's not too many places in the universe that create geniuses that are scot-free in the world like we are.
In moments like this, I just often remember a specific interview that Dr. John Mack did with one of the kids from the aerial school. And he asks her why she thought the visitors were there. And she goes, "In space, there is no love, but down here, there is." And I remember so viscerally watching that for the first time and that resonating on such a deep soul level that, and of course, you can make the case that it's wishful thinking. Of course, I want to feel special as a human, and I want to feel like we have something here that doesn't exist elsewhere in the universe. But there is something so profound that anybody that has experienced like a love and a sense of, it's anyone that just experienced love, you can really you feel the transcendence of that. I mean, the most popular film for the past decade was about like transcendence of love, Interstellar. So like the whole film was about that.
Yeah.
So and you could see how like it's almost like right now is the 10th year anniversary, and the people are talking back about the film because people are watching for the first time. big fans are watching it again, and the convergence of even that I was talking to Jesse about a couple of days ago. It feels so everything feels like it's making sense for the moment that we're living right now. On like in the way people are, in the drones popping up, on people thinking more about space with SpaceX landing, a tower from coming from space back onto Earth. I really do think that we have something so profound here that we have to preserve, that we have to gather around to, like, as you said, really understand what is it that makes us who we are, what is it that makes them who they are, and so that they are here based on our terms. We know that they're not going to be the overlords that we have to, like,
That's exactly what we have to
submit our entire sovereignty to, just because they're a higher form of intelligence.
2025 is about figuring out how to live together. And that does not mean we are going to have to accept overlords. If that's all we can manage, they don't want to be here.
Maybe our current reality is more governed by entities than we realize. Like, where do thoughts even come from? And so I think there's kind of this perspective of, like, one of my favorite quotes is this Eden Philpott's, the universe is full of magical things patiently waiting for our wits to grow sharper.
Yeah.
And
that's a wonderful quote.
It's a wonderful quote. And there's maybe some strata of beings that are waiting for us to ascend to their level, to truly, communicate at parity with them. And then there may be some other beings that, if you're not aware of them, probably have more insidious control of your life right now.
Yeah.
And so, like, it brings up all these sort of kind of epistemic ontological questions. When you're daydreaming, why are you thinking what you're thinking? You're not consciously constructing those thoughts. They're sort of entering your mind as if it's this antenna receptacle. And so then you have to ask what's on the, sending end of that. And,
Well, on that point, I feel like we jumped straight into the communication with the NHI, but we're not, we didn't talk about the implant and the fact that there's something in your body that you believe is an implant. I feel like
right here.
If you, I feel
Can
like
we
if
see
you
it?
had,
You can touch it. You can't. I don't think you touch it if you want to.
I feel like 2 years.
I can give you a CT scan of it if you want that.
Is it weird if I touch it, or is it okay?
No, it's fine. Doesn't matter. It might be a little hot because it's been working right here.
2-3 years ago, if you had told someone,
go ahead and touch it. Don't be scared. Here. It's right under my finger now.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
That is.
not-
Well, can you touch it?
I'll come touch you, but I want to finish this point because I feel like that's also
normal tissue.
Yeah.
No, it's
No.
not.
I mean, there's the CT scan, there's a video of the surgeon trying to remove it, and the thing fucking moving at its own, like it's
Oh, it's going
evaded
down
the
into my
surgeon,
earlobe. Yeah.
and it just like goes down. And I remember watching that.
I guess it went under,
But that's the hard part.
but it disappeared again.
Exactly.
It's actually moving now.
It went under.
It's on the run.
Well, kind of is, because I could see it just bright as day, and now it's. I don't see it.
Am I gonna have weird effects now that I?
No, not at all. Listen, it's been in this whole. It's part of this conversation. It's been ears gotten hot and cold all through the conversation. The implants.
Really?
Yeah. It's
So you
involved.
think it's how you communicate with the beings?
No. It's. I work with it. In other words, I can interrogate the implant while I'm talking.
But it was humans gave you
Two
the implant.
humans, yeah.
And
This is-
suits
this is
and
something we
like
haven't
Men in
touched.
Black style.
This is something we haven't touched on yet. Is the human level of this.